Don't get too close. Oh, do you see that one going in then with yellow back legs? Watch for the back legs. Yeah, this one's been split and that one has been split. So I split the colony because they wanted to swarm. So I made them think they'd swarm. And Alma's filming them and she'll be able to see them going in and out with yellow legs on the back legs. Yeah, yeah. This is where they're collecting. Oh, it's a dead bee on one.
So are they?
So that's a frame.
Empty?
Yeah, there's nothing in there. That's just wax foundation. So can you see it? They've already got hexagons.
Yeah.
They're all hexagonal. So that's a start for the bees. The bees then build them up, build a comb up, right, to look like this. Can you see?
Oh,
they've started.
Honey.
Yeah, they started drawing the comb out. So they make wax.
Can I touch them?
Yeah, yeah. So the bees make wax. This is where they store their honey. Okay, so these are special frames. These are super frames. They call them a super.
Why?
Oh, it's just the name for the small boxes on the top of the hives. Okay, the smaller, narrower boxes are called supers. And this is where they store the honey, and we keep the queen away from these. Because if we didn't, the queen would lay eggs in there, so we'd have brood and new baby bees being born. But we keep that away from the queen, and they just put stored honey in there, and that's what we pinch off them. Right? So this small box there is a super, but I don't know if I've got any. I've just got one brand new brood box frame. You see that's bigger?
Yeah.
So this is what I put in the bottom, larger boxes, where the queen can then lay eggs and the colony can expand and get bigger. So this is brood frame. Right, so that's just wax foundation that's already got the hexagons started for the bees to start to draw out the comb.
So how long does it take for that frame to be full of honey?
When there's a honey flow on, it could be anything from 2, 3, 4 weeks. Maybe even a week on a massive honey flow with a large colony. Yeah, you can fill that with 25 pound of honey. Yeah. So there's some more drawn comb. That's what they call it, drawn comb. They draw it out to make these honeycombs, and each honeycomb slopes down slightly that way from the top. So they just slope down like that.
Amazing.
Right? And the bees make these, and it's the young bees that have the secrete wax tablets from one of their abdomens, from under a plate on the body. Right? The bees have got a skeleton on the outside of their body. Right. And they extract, they can make wax platelets, and then they use those platelets to build a honeycomb.
Wow.
Do you know what this is now?
Yes, please.
This is a honey extractor. Right. So inside there is a frame. Okay. I'll fit that in there, but I'll fit 4 of them. Once I've cut the wax cappings off both sides, I fit it in there, and then I set that going, spin it round, and that centrifuges all the honey out of that, and that's what leaves those empty. Look, there's a bit. Those empty empty frames there. So that we've got a hive here, a hive lid. Put that dead plant out. And there's a brood box. Right, so that's a brood box. There's a hive floor that's been sealed up to stop bees getting in. So they're going through there and come out up through there into the hive. Right. That goes on that way, and then you put your frames inside there, and then you put another box on top, like that one with the supers. Let me show you. You can pause if you want, Alma. So this would go on top, like that. So you'd have all your bees in there. That's a brood box and a super, and beekeepers call it a brood and a half. So that'd be all the brood where your queen's laying eggs and your colony's getting bigger. And then we put that on the top. That's called a queen excluder. The queen can't get through those holes, she's too big. So when we've got another one of these boxes on top of that, that's where the bees will put all the honey that we pinch off them. So we rob that off them. And I'm going to leave that there. Oh no. Because if I leave it there, if I leave that there, they'll melt in this heat. So I'll put this back inside. So that's basically it. Big boxes and little boxes. Brood boxes and supers. Brood boxes and supers. Keeping bees and stealing honey. So, back in history there were a bloke called Langstroth, and he studied bees and he was a beekeeper, and he came up with the theory of bee space. Right, bee space inside a hive is critical. Right, and that bee space is 7 to 9 millimeter. Right, that is the space. Anything less than that, anything less than 7 millimeters, they'll propolyze it and gum it up. And anything bigger than 9 millimeters, they'll brace comb. They'll make brace comb. They'll make more, cells for putting eggs or honey in. So that's it. He worked that out over the probably course of his lifetime. Bee space is critical. So that is when I made my own boxes, if you like, my own hives. I had to be as accurate as I could. And I'm not that good a joiner. I want so bad. But my failing was not sticking to wooden frames. So that's that. So bee space is critical. Right? The queen, that queen excluder that I showed you, is 4.5 millimeters. That's the gap that the queen can't get through. That 4.5. So that's what keeps the queen out from the stores up above. Bee equipment at different levels, because it's timber and because they make it on machines. Some of it's got knots in, so they sell them as seconds and thirds. If you want top quality frames and hives and boxes, you'll buy cedar. All the hives are made of cedar, because cedar's a good wood. It's a nice oily wood, natural weather.
Weather's better.
Yeah, and all the frames will be more accurate. So inside your hive, it just helps you to manage it when you're doing an inspection. But if you've got things that are gappy or too short or too small, or they're too close together, they'll propolyze it. So one box can be stuck on top of other. So it can be a pain just to separate them. And when you're in a bee suit in weather like this, sweltering, and you want to take a box off, and if you're on your own, a box weighs £30 and it's that high up, and you've got bees buzzing around you all over the shop, it's just, that's not nice. Doing the inspection's nice, so keeping it spaced right is better management and makes it easier for you to do your beekeeping. For me anyway. I'll just have this last strawberry.
I tasted your honey and I think you are the best beekeeper in Huddersfield.
Oh, probably am.